does not need words to express itself. All it needs is emotion. What is being in the background? If you're not Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, etc., you're always going to be in the background. It's all a matter of perception and relativity. Let me share with you my background. I'm an orphan. I lost my mom, my sister, and my dad to cancer in 1986, 1996, 2006, respectively. My mom was a school teacher. She had a beautiful voice. She was known as the Nightingale. And one day in school, she fell down and could not get up. She was rushed to the hospital and the doctors diagnosed a condition as polymyositis, which is a rare muscle degenerative disease. And she was told to take steroids for the rest of her life, due to which she had lots of complications. And she was in and out of hospital, draining fluid from her lungs. 9 years later, when I was 11 years old, she got lymphoma cancer and she died. 6 months after she died, my mom died and my dad walked out on us. I don't know if he was depressed that mom died, but he did so. He became an alcoholic and he passed away in 2006 of cancer too. A few years before my sister died, we grew really close, you know how siblings are. And at the age of 26, she was already a social activist, she was a child counselor, she was a brilliant singer. And I looked up to her as a mentor, you know, she was like an inspiring human being to me. But the very thing that she dreaded too, one day happened and she found that she had breast cancer in the last stage. And within a year of diagnosis, she passed away. Was I devastated? Yes, I was. But did I say, I'm going to stop living? No, I didn't, because I was given this chance of life and I wasn't going to throw it away. We were a family of little means. I mean, you know, my grandmother and my aunts looked after us and did the best that they could in their means. And growing up, I had no formal training in music. My only training was just listening to my mom sing these beautiful Irish songs and my dad sing these amazing operatic arias. And I listened and I learned that way, I imbibed. In college, I started winning a lot of singing competitions, and I soon realized that I was moving away from the background of my life, slowly into the limelight. I got my first jingle in college when Loy Mendonca and Ehsan Irani of Shankar Ehsan Royfield called me for a coffee jingle. I was paid 3,000 rupees in cash after I finished only 15 minutes of singing, and I was so excited because firstly, I was paid to sing, and secondly, I realized that there was an alternative career in music. So, in 1998, I remember making these demo tapes. For those who don't know, or the millennials, for those who don't know what a tape is, it was the only way of recording audio. So, I had spent all my pocket money on those tapes and I was hoping that, you know, I'd get work. So I went around with them. I called a couple of music directors. I gave them my tapes hoping I'd get work. Fortunately for me, I did. And it went from one jingle to another, to the third, fourth, fifth. And soon I'd sung on over 5,000 jingles. Advertising did a lot for me. Firstly, it put food on the table. it ensured that I didn't have to have another job in my life other than being a musician. But most importantly, it changed the way people look at a professional recording artist. And that changed because advertising before that was in the background. It changed with one song, namely the Limca jingle. I don't know if you remember it, but it sounded like this. Fuhare, bochare, nazare chura luna, kuch boonde chura luna, रुकी सी जिंदगी से, रुकी सी जिंदगी से, रफ्तारे चुरा लूना. Something that was in the background came into the light again. Advertising for me was this, that when I was called for a job, whether it was day or night, I just go and take the job. I never refused work. And I hated the fact that I had to go to a job and then they, bounce the track, bounce the voice from the track. So I made sure that I did my best. So you may say that I'm in the background, but my voice and my creation is what you identify with the brand. And that is integral to the brand. I also gave my voice to Amsutra, mango slice high. Amsutra कहता है कि लालच को जितना पकड़ी दो, मिलन उतना ही मीठा होता है. Mango slice, pure mango pleasure. Then there was the Idea AT&T ad with Ilya Raja's composition. And hazar other ads that I sang on with beauty brands and Nescafe, etc., etc., etc. So I guess if you do your job well enough and you give it the best that you can, the best of your abilities, and you do it over a long period of time, you're bound to get recognized for it eventually. And so interviews happen, and one day someone asked me, why is it that they call you the Queen of Advertising? So I said, I don't know. This is the first time I'm hearing this. And that's when the name stuck, the Jingle Queen. So, I'm still not Jeff Bezos, but you can move every day a step towards, in that direction towards him. So I'm guessing the natural progression of things from advertising is Bollywood, and that's how Bollywood happened. My first Bollywood song was incidentally with Shankar S. and Roy in the film Dil Chahta Hai, in the song Jani Kyun. And I did about 40 to 50 other Bollywood films and numerous other background scores. But the one song that changed my life forever was when S.R. Nurani called me one day and said, there's this song which is at the end credits of the film. Would you be interested? So I don't know if I'd become famous by then, that he had the need to tell me that. Because till that point of time, it had not struck me that I was a brand and that I could reject a song depending on where it was placed in the film. But no, I didn't say no. Because there are a few music directors that I'm indebted to have a music career in the first place. And so if they asked me to sing a word, I would gladly do so. So I said yes. And I went to the studio, and Javed Akhtar was there. He helped me with the diction and the general feel of the song. And I finished singing, and I left. I didn't think much of the song. The film got released, Rock On did really well. And 3 or 4 months after it was released, I got huge fan mails telling me that, they loved the song, they loved the voice, they they love the film, and for some it changed their lives. So I was just happy that the song did well. So I'm still not Jeff Bezos, but the Caralisa before Phil and the Caralisa after Phil has come a big step outside the background for life. I also sang the title song of Shamita, and at the music launch, Amitabh Bachchan was interviewing Rajinikanth and Kamal Hassan about Raja, because it was a celebration of his 1000th film. And I got to sing in front of these amazing people. Recently, I sang on Neshe Se Chad Gaye, where Vishal Shekhar called me and said, we need you to write the French lyrics and sing in the song. So it's touched over 5,000 views on YouTube. It's apparently one of the most viewed Bollywood songs on YouTube. So you may say I'm in the background, but when you go to a dance club and the song starts, and when you hear Parlez-nous, parlez-nous, parlez-nous de ce rire social, je suis fou de toi, le tes échos dans mes veines, guidé par ta voix, de ce rire social, je suis fou de toi. Immediately, you connect that to the main hook of the song. And so, life went on, and I was pretty much obese all my life. I was never into any sport. I led a very sedentary lifestyle. And one day I went to my physician and he told me, listen, you either lose the weight or we put you on pressure meds. And that's when I said, I really needed to take care of myself, especially because I had a family history of cancer. And I was 30 then. A few years later, I met my husband. And the man, for some reason, believes that when you're training, you need to train like you're training for the Olympics. And so this is me now. And, so not all achievements in life are related to fame or money. At least not to me. What I contribute as a human is more important. Which is why I composed and sang on the Ray Prabhu anthem. The journey for an artist is pretty much set here. First you do advertising, and then I did Bollywood, and before I knew it I was busy doing what I was doing. That I had procrastinated putting out my album. So along the way, I decided to release my album and start an NGO to raise awareness and money for cancer. So on the 25th of December 2014, I ran from Bombay to Pune over 180 kilometers. And when I reached Pune, I launched my album Illusion, and all the proceeds from the run and the downloads of the album went to my NGO, Angel in Disguise. It's important to have a goal and priority. I'm glad I never had a godfather in the industry, because every job that I got was on pure talent. And I always wanted my work to speak for me. I never wanted to be bigger than the craft. Music will always be bigger than Caralisa, because music is the star of my life. I see a lot of talent in this room. People who have already made it out of the background. I see minds who will question and challenge the norm and create new pathways. In my journey of life, I've learned that regret doesn't come with failure. It comes from giving up. Every day is an opportunity. Take it. and make the most of it. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be really difficult or hard. But if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. Hard is what makes it great. The fact that I'm alive and I have this gift of life, that itself is great. So don't live another day in the background, because you are the star of your life. I wish you the very best in all that you do. Thank you for having me.